Fun.
Hello, everyone. We're here with our good friend Megan Germany. She's a sister at our church. Here to interview her. We've kind of give a little bit about our podcast and what we're doing here. It's called Let's Get Transparent. Our goal mainly is to help new Christians coming into the church to branch out and to understand who they're dealing with, and to help them grow and to be able to reach out to the people in our churches. They need to know who we are, and we're not just people that exclude ourselves from the world. We're just people just like them. We've made a different choice in our lives to follow God and to love one another. And this is what this interview is about. And this is our first one. Like I said, our good friend Megan. Introduce yourself. Hello.
Hi, Megan. You want me to go into detail?
I can. You don't have to go into big detail.
About myself?
Yeah, sure. Just give us a little bit about yourself. What do you do?
Well, I'm Megan. I am 20 years old, and I have been in Alto all of my life. I go to college at TJC. I'm in the occupational therapy program, and I'll be graduating in 2026. Work at the Dollar General. Been there for 2 years, and that's pretty much all it is.
Fair enough. Well, to get into it, how long have you been attending church?
Attending church. I've been attending church since I was born. So 20 years, I guess you could say.
20 years.
Going on 21.
Where do you attend church at?
The River, a church for whosoever, in Alto, Texas.
Awesome. Yes, us too. What do you get out of church?
So out of church, I just get family. I get an opportunity to grow and learn and how to do this walk with God and do it with other people who are, we might not come from all the same backgrounds, but we've got similar instances and stuff. We can all relate, and we've been in some darker places, but now we're in a new place with God, and so now we can actually live right, and so we all get to learn about it together, not be alone.
Of course, that's awesome. When did the service really just start to draw you in?
So that's interesting. I would I've always listened as I've gotten older, bits and pieces, I guess probably whenever I got to a teenager. But it didn't really, I knew what he was saying or whoever was preaching was saying, but I can't say that I actually understood. We were saying the other day, there's a difference between listening and hearing. So anyways, that's kind of where I was throughout most of my teenage years until I got a bit older, maybe to a year ago, to where I could actually start relating to what was being preached about and actually understanding and applying it to myself.
Gotcha.
So,
well, that's good. And I kind of feel the same way. I've been going to church, our church, for the last 9 years, and that probably wasn't until those last 2 that I really heard what he's saying. I feel what he's saying. Yeah. I'm not there in that crowd just being a spectator anymore. I'm who he's talking to, and I feel the Lord in all of it. It's really opened up a lot for me.
It's kind of like a choice too. If I wanted to, this Sunday, I could just go sit and be I'm just not really gonna listen today. It's mainly a choice. I have to choose. Okay, I'm gonna listen to what God has to say to me today, and I'm gonna take it and receive it for myself. And whatever you want to do with that, just do it, Lord. I want to hear what you have to say. So it's really a choice too. Good. I would say for me,
having to choose that. No, I could see that. That was me too. How about you, Jaden? When did you start to hear it?
Me? Probably about a year ago too.
Fair enough.
Nice.
Being stubborn and started listening.
Yeah.
All right, Megan. How does your praise and worship affect you during church or during the week and during the day?
Well, we know praise and worship is more than just music, dancing, whatever. It's just how you live your daily life. So I try to do that.
Sorry.
I try to do that every day. I try to most mornings. Not that I get to actually do it every morning. open up my Bible. I have a little devotional. So, I do that in the mornings, try to like spend some time with the Lord and, talk to him. And so, that's part of how I, praise and worship every day. And just saying, Lord, have your way in me today. Thank you for this day that I'm alive. And, just whatever you want to do in me today, let's do it. And so, that part, that's what I do for that part, my day to day. But as for like, like music and, dancing or whatever, those are also really important to me and just something I really enjoy. Like on Wednesday night, Sunday nights, I love, whenever we just play music and just get to worship. I'm so glad that like God had shown our pastors to like, do that because, obviously every church doesn't do that for a church service. And I don't really know any that do, but it's such an important thing. And like, it's like one things that we can give back to him is our worship. And so I'm like, this is my opportunity to just be grateful for everything he's done, everything he's doing, everything he's gonna do. And I can worship right now and give him all that I've got, not caring what anybody else thinks, not caring what I think, and just, just worshiping and giving him my all.
Yeah, that's real good too. Because I think I had a question for you before. Like when I see everyone worship, their hands up, eyes closed, sometimes they're kneeling.
Yeah.
I thought, like, what do they see?
Mm-hmm.
What are they seeing that I wasn't seeing?
Yeah.
Can you explain that a
Well,
little?
I mean, I think it's just different for like everybody, but like for me, if I'm closing my eyes, I'm just like trying to really like receive. Like there's nobody else in the room. I'm just like here, me and God. My eyes are closed, and I'm just receiving everything that He has. I'm talking to Him. I'm listening. Just worshiping, giving gratitude, surrendering. You know, and then like whenever sometimes I'll just have my eyes open. And for me, I like to open my eyes and just look up. Like, I don't know, I feel like I'm face to face with God at that moment. Like I'm looking at him, I'm talking to him, I'm singing to him. Like, I was thinking about this earlier, like with music. I love music because like I do. Like, I don't know what I would do without it, but it's just like whenever I don't know what to say or don't have the words, music can like speak for me. So like, when we have that music on and those worship songs, like I feel like I can just vocalize those to the Lord and just be like, I might not have the words, but this is what I want to say to you. So
I like that. I like that a lot.
yeah.
Because I know in our church we have a lot of engagements, so where we spend time together, and we are doing a lot of worshiping together.
Mm-hmm.
They used to annoy the fire out of me, but now
Yeah.
I really, really appreciate it, and it does bring you closer to the family that's there. It helps you be a part of it, and you have to engage because if you don't, you'll feel just like I did. You'll feel excluded. You'll sit there looking at everyone, thinking they have problems with you, but no, they're engaged. They're doing what the Lord has asked them to do.
Mm-hmm.
Be a part of that family, and I couldn't get that at first, and this is what I'm saying. Over the last couple of years, I understand that now and what it is to engage and to be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I didn't have to. I got to, join some of the things like the ushers, and I get to go back and forth to help out with wells, and we also do the golf cart and other things for the church. Clean, and it's a thing that I realized that I didn't know I needed to do that.
Yeah.
And because I wasn't engaging in any of it, I didn't feel that, and it took away some of my worship because my whole thought process while I was there was, why are these people don't like me? It was all about me.
Yeah.
So it's really helped. I'm glad that we get to do that, and that's really neat. This is some bigger questions here.
Bigger. Okay.
All right. Like, when did you realize you needed to take Jesus serious? It's one thing to go to church and be there, like you were talking about. What part of your life it was like, hey, this is what's going on. This is real. I need this.
So for me, so like most of my like teenage years, like I felt like I kind of just lived a double life, kind of like, I would go to this house that allowed me to do more things, and I would basically do whatever I wanted. If I wanted to go do this and do that, I was able to go do it. Whatever my flesh wanted, I could go do it pretty much. And then, I come over here to this house and, we're going to church, you don't do this, there's rules, okay? So for most of my teenage years, I felt like I was playing both sides. Like, like I wanted what my flesh wanted, but at the same time, like I knew where Jesus was. I knew what he done for my family. Like I knew I wanted him, but we know we can't have both sides. Okay, but as a teenager, I tell you what, I got a lot of grace, and I think a lot of that I was like, covered under my mom as well. For her being faithful, I was, still under her, uh,
Protection.
yeah, her protection. But I had to learn a lot of lessons, of course, and so, anyways, after so long of just like trying to play both sides, it got to a point where like you know, I had gotten tired of, just whatever this world had to offer. Everything I had received from the world, everything my flesh wanted, ended up destroying me and hurting me and just breaking me down. And so it brought me to a point where, like, I myself couldn't bear it any longer, you know? And so I was like, I just can't deal with this anymore. And so, it came to a point where like either I was going to go full blown in the world, Megan, or you're going to have to surrender, be transparent, open up, let it all go, and just surrender. And so that's what I had come to a point to do. And at this point, I was probably like 18, so I'm legally an adult now. So it's like God was saying like, okay, Megan, you're an adult. You need to choose what life you're going to live. And so that's what it came to for me, and I knew the world had done screwed me over, and I can't think of any other way to put it. And so I didn't want it anymore,
The world was being the world.
Yeah, of course.
Screwed you over. It's just your choices.
Yeah,
that were good, that broke you down, which is great, and I'm glad you get to see that, and you see that it was you that needed to make the change.
Yeah. So it just came to like a point like I couldn't bear it anymore, so I just had to like choose, and so.
Yeah, it's crazy. The world's going to be the world. It pulls it all in. I'm not saying I'm a victim. I let it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like it, it starts off as fun, and freedom. Like I can do what I want, yada yada yada. But after a while, it's gonna drag you down.
You gotta answer for all that fun.
Yeah, and so I think once you like get to that point where you realize this isn't fun and games anymore, like this is getting dark and serious.
And it can be. It can be.
Yeah. So I knew I didn't. It was already dark enough to where I was getting. So I was like, I won't live through this. I'm not gonna.
Gotcha.
I can't do this.
Considering that you have made the change and you've said, "Hey, yes to the Lord." How do you interact now with the locals and the people in the world?
Love them. Try my best. I just try to love them, be kind, and because love is the first thing. Yes. And so once they see love, once they see something's different in you, then they'll start questioning. Kind of, like my friend, they know where I stand, and so they know who I am and what things I don't do anymore. And so they know where to reach out. If they want to make that choice to, step out of the world and make a change, they know who to reach out to.
And I feel that because I have several people who will call me, "Hey, Steve, pray for me." Mm-hmm. And I don't always get to tell them what they want to hear. Yeah. But it's truth, and they'll tell me thank you. And I've had a couple of them call me back, like, "Hey, man, I really appreciated that. I hated you at the time, but I needed it."
Of course.
It was a good feeling, too, because I know I don't like to be mean, but I was like, it was out of love, and I wanted the best for them. Yeah. That's really cool. Now, let's see. This is kind of about the show now. This is called "Let's Get Transparent." You've been kind of transparent now. How has transparency in your family and your church life helped you?
It's brought me so much freedom. I mean, kind of like I was saying earlier, like whenever it came to that choice for me, where if I was going to just live for the world, if I was going to surrender, the main issue that I dealt with, especially in my teenage years, because I say my teenage years a lot because that's where I learned a lot from. Made a lot of mistakes and I learned a lot. So anyways, probably when I got like 14 is when I quit being so transparent. Like, as a kid, like, like things happen, you're transparent with your parents or whatever. And I was until about like 14, and I, was doing things that I knew I wasn't supposed to do. So of course the voice inside says, don't talk about it. Don't say nothing because you're going to get in trouble. It's not going to be good. So you just do that for so many years, and you just hold all that stuff in to a point where you don't talk to nobody about anything or nothing like that. That's how I was. And even like, some of my friends, like they'd be like, Megan, like, you need to cry every once in a while. You need to like talk about stuff every once in a while. I'm like, no, I'm good. We just act like everything's okay. We go about our day, okay? Well, so like whenever it came to that point where I had to choose, the battle was I didn't want to be transparent. I didn't want to open up about all these things that I was going through and doing and all my wrongs. But it came to that point where, Megan, if you want freedom, you're going to have to be transparent. You're going to have to open up and just let it all out. And so, that's what I had to do. It was very uncomfortable, and it's not my most favorite thing in the world, but it brought a lot of freedom. It brought more relationship between myself and, those that I had to be transparent with.
Like your parents.
Yeah, parents, pastors. So it brought more relationship and just love there and helped me realize that, I can trust them. And, like they're not judging me or nothing like that. They're not angry with me.
No, we love you. We just want the best.
Yeah, and so, they care and, they want to hear about those things just so, I can let it go and move forward. So it's very important.
Well, that's good. Good. I know how that feels to
Yeah.
have like a bag there that was weighing you down and then to be able to let it go, it's free. It's really awesome.
Yeah.
What are some struggles you have in being transparent? Do you still have them?
Yeah, and I think I'm like sweating right now. But I don't know. I don't know if anybody ever becomes comfortable with being transparent. I feel like you might in like different areas, like you might get more comfortable in certain areas, but there's always going to be new areas that come up that you're going to have to be transparent in. You're not going to want to, but you're going to have to choose to.
That's parts of you dying and growing, yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, I definitely still struggle with it. I feel like I struggle with it more than most people do, but that's probably wrong. That's just my personal.
Oh, you're very wrong.
Yeah.
You're very wrong.
But something that really stuck out to me and kind of helped my perspective on transparency, last semester in college, in one of my classes, we watched this TED Talk video. TED Talk, like those speakers or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it was about vulnerability. Well, vulnerability and transparency, they kind of go hand in hand. Well, I was talking about vulnerability, or in this case, we could say transparency, is difficult for everybody. It's not comfortable for anyone at all. Nobody.
It never is.
Yeah. And so, I never thought about that. Like, I knew for myself, like, I don't like doing it. It's not fun. It's uncomfortable. I hate talking about feelings. Let's just not do that. But it's like that for everybody. And so that gave me like comfort knowing that like I'm not the only one who feels like this, It's normal to feel uncomfortable to like talk about, what's going on inside of you. And so I don't know, I feel like that kind of just helped me a lot and I've grown in transparency. I know it's necessary for freedom and growth. So yes, I might battle with it for a little while, and then eventually I'll open up about it.
Oh yeah, I'm one of those. I get frustrated about it. I'm not happy in that moment when it happens, but afterwards, I've let it go.
And most of the time, like my mom especially, will notice when something's going on, and they'll ask, and at first I might be like, "No, I'm fine." Like,
that's a parent.
Are you okay?
It's a parent's intuition.
I know, and so, but it's good that those opportunities come because I'm like, eventually I'll just like, okay, no, I'm not fine. I need to talk about this. Just open up. So that's usually how that goes sometimes too.
Yeah, and it's not easy to do it either because I have coming from my own perspective. I'm not going to say just a man's perspective, but I don't get the opportunity to go do that. And when I tried to, when I wasn't in a church family, it was complaining and whining. Mm-hmm. And to an extent, it is if you're looking for what is it? Like trying to build a team to get on your side to get sympathy, but as opposed to hey, I need help because there's some of the issues I'm going, asking for advice, and that's where I fell into it. And this, after you've whined for so long and everyone shuts you out, they don't want to help you anymore. It's like, oh, okay, now you draw back in. Yeah. But yeah, that's a good. I really like that answer. That was awesome. Thank you for sharing that part. Well, I know you talked a little bit about, how you help others in the world, be joyful. Like, what do you do to profess your faith? How do I tell you out, to send you out that hey, this is the Christian lady, as opposed to seeing a bunch of people walk by? What do you do when people ask you about God?
Well, that's the thing. I haven't had many opportunities yet, but because I'm still growing in that area. I'm a very introverted person, so I guess this. No, with y'all, I might not be because I'm comfortable with y'all. I know y'all. But like when it comes to like talking to strangers and stuff, and especially about like sensitive topics about God and all this, it's kind of, and it's also kind of like being transparent too. Like if you have to share your testimony and stuff, it's uncomfortable. And so I'm still growing in that area, and I know whenever God provides opportunities, to like just share like if somebody's like going through something. I can't think of any specific instance right now, but somebody's going through something and I can relate to it. I'll respond with hope, like I've been through this too, or I know somebody that's going through this too, so there's hope on the other side for you. But mainly like my opportunities right now would probably be at like school, and I haven't had any specific opportunities yet. Nobody's like like asked me anything yet. But I try to just, show love and kindness. And like right now, one of my classes we have to take is mental health. And, obviously we see very different views on mental health than the world does. And so I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities there whenever we get further into this class because we have like table discussions. And so, they're going to have different opinions about it than I am. And I'm going to be very honest about my opinions. Like, yes, I know I need to learn about this for my career. And I'm going to, to pass the class, do what I need to do. But the world's beliefs are not going to affect my beliefs for what I know is true. So, I'm going to be able, I know I'm going to have an opportunity to share that with them, that you don't have to deal with these things they're not lifelong things that you have to deal with. Like, I've seen so many people come in with different mental health disorders and stuff like that on so many medications, they don't even take them anymore.
No, they're
yeah, completely gone. So I know that this isn't something that people have to deal with lifelong if you choose Jesus and let him free you from it.
Yeah.
So anyways, I know I'm gonna have opportunity there, and I've also gotten many words spoken to me that this season at school that I'm gonna have a lot of opportunities to share Jesus with them. So I think those opportunities are coming, and I'm excited about it.
Oh yeah.
Whatever he's going to do there. So.
Also pray for boldness.
Yeah.
Quite often it's helped out quite a bit.
Yeah.
God's really answered that. And this is kind of unrelated, but what's awesome that we get to witness these people make that change in their lives. That's where a lot of our Bible books come from. They're not stuff people just made up. Most of it's like your Gospels are about the first-hand witnesses. That's what they're talking about. And it's neat to get to see that now and put that into perspective of what we're doing. And we've got to witness all this. It's really cool. But anyway, yeah, that was neat.
What would you tell people who are just starting their walk with Jesus? What advice would you give?
What advice? Be transparent. Number one, be transparent.
Of course.
Yeah, it's a key starting factor. Be transparent, and it will help you grow. It will give you freedom. And once you're transparent, receive whatever truth is spoken to you and adhere to it, and let go of whatever you need to let go of, relationships, things, jobs, whatever it may be. Let it go, because God is going to have so much better once you do let it go, because that's something that we all have to go through at some point, is letting things go, relationships or whatever it may be. So yeah, I mean, I know it's probably kind of cliche for the podcast, but being transparent is so important, and being transparent with the right people first off. Not just gonna go share everything about your life to somebody that's not gonna lead you in the right direction.
True story, and it'll never be cliche.
Yeah. But yeah, I would just say be transparent first of all, and let go whatever you gotta let go of, because there's better on the other side.
Yeah, it's not just to get into the letting go, and we're not just letting go. We're choosing to put God first, and if that was supposed to be there, He'll bring it back, and He'll bring it back and make it so much more.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to kind of explain a little more. Sorry, not to confuse. But no, thank you so much for this. This has been really awesome. This is something we've been wanting to do for several years now. We talked about it, we joked about it, and then I didn't know what to do, what we do it about, and then I really heard God talk to me and say, "Hey, what are you doing for my people?" And I've helped you what are you helping them do?
Mm-hmm.
So we're hoping to reach a bigger audience, and then, you know, I get to choose joy here at the shop. I get to choose joy at my other job,
Mm-hmm.
surveying, and you know, a lot of people have walked up to me and be like, "Hey, you know, just in a short conversation, and are you a Christian?"
Yeah.
And then we all start jumping around like, "Yeah," and slap fives. And I'm all excited about it because we get to see each other and speak. So I get to meet a lot of people, and it's really fun, you know, just being able to share the joy of the Lord. And
Yeah.
but anyway, thank you again. All right, all right, guys, bye.